We need to have an honest conversation about what it is actually like to live with the Hyundai Accent Blue on a long highway journey. Because let's be real, a 10-minute test drive around the block at 40 kilometers per hour tells you absolutely nothing about cabin noise. You get out on the open road, cruise control set to 120, and suddenly the personality of the car changes. The Accent Blue is a solid car, but insulation is usually the first thing manufacturers cut to save cost and weight. The first thing you're going to notice is the wind noise. It tends to swirl around the A-pillars and those large side mirrors. It is not a whistling sound, but more of a constant rushing air sound that gets progressively louder as you push past 100 kilometers per hour. It means you have to raise your voice slightly to talk to the passenger next to you, which gets tiring after an hour or two. Then there's the road noise, and this is a big one. The wheel wells in this car have very little sound deadening material. If you're driving on smooth, fresh asphalt, it is surprisingly quiet. But the second you hit rough concrete or worn-out tarmac, that roar transfers directly through the tires, into the suspension, and right into the cabin. It is a low-frequency drone that can really wear you down. Tires play a huge role here. If you're running on cheap, hard compound eco tires, it is going to be loud. Switching to a softer, higher-quality touring tire can drop the noise levels by several decibels, making a massive difference. Now, let's talk about the engine. The diesel units are actually pretty good at cruising speeds. In 6th gear, the revs are low enough that the engine settles into a background hum. The petrol versions, however, might sit at a higher ARPM, which introduces a mechanical buzz into the cabin. But here's the good news. You're not stuck with this. If you're handy with tools, you could dramatically improve this yourself. The doors are big resonance chambers. Taking off the door cards and applying butyl-based sound deadening mats adds mass to the metal, stopping it from vibrating like a drum skin. You can also pull back the carpet in the trunk and add a layer of closed cell foam. It sounds complicated, but it is basically just peeling and sticking stickers. I did this on a similar project car, and the difference was night and day. It went from sounding like a budget rental car to feeling like a segment above. It creates that solid thud when you close the door, too. Another sneaky culprit for noise is the door seals. Over time, the rubber gets hard and flattens out, letting air creep in. Treating them with a silicone spray or even adding a secondary rubber strip can seal the cabin much tighter. So is the Accent Blue loud? By modern luxury standards, yes. But for a class, it is average. The key takeaway here is that you do not have to accept it. With the right tires and a weekend of DIY work adding insulation, you can make this car a legitimate long-distance cruiser that does not leave you with a headache when you arrive at your destination.